For the past 6 to 7 years of his NBA career, Russell Westbrook has mostly been painted by the media as a flat-out losing basketball player, to the point that even his achievements have been twisted into looking like failures. When he averaged 27 points per game and made the All-NBA team in his one season with Houston, all the talk was about how the Rockets needed to play small ball because Russ was useless as an off-ball player next to James Harden. Soon after, in his one season with the Washington Wizards, despite him leading the league in assists, Russ caught the good stats in a bad team label. Then, in his 1.5 season with the LA Lakers, Westbrook was used as a scapegoat at every chance possible for a roster that was badly constructed by the front office who shouldn't have traded for Russ in the first place. Well, I'm not gonna lie, an aging Russell Westbrook was a tough fit in a lot of situations, both because of his shooting deficiencies as well as his turnover-prone playstyle. So the question is, what do you actually do with him? As it turns out, the pretty simple answer is just pair him with 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic, and this pairing so far has resulted in Russell Westbrook being sensational in Denver. As of the making of this video, Russ has delivered a total of 101 assists to Nikola Jokic, which is actually tied for the highest assist total for any two-man combination in the NBA this season, alongside the Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama tandem. But then, as expected, it works the other way as well. There are nearly 2,000 different two-man combinations who have spent at least 60 minutes together on the floor this season, and none of them are assisting each other at a higher rate than Jokic and Russ, who so far have tallied 152 assists to each other in the 1,006 minutes they've shared the court so far. Well, sure, critics would say that playing alongside the best big man in basketball in Nikola Jokic would pretty much bring out the best in just about anyone, but Westbrook has actually been impacting winning for a long time, and it's just that it's been easy to forget as Russ was placed in some bad situational fits. But now, as part of a Denver Nuggets team that highlights his strengths, Russ is currently averaging 13, 5, and 6, together with 1.5 steals and 0.5 blocks per game, which are terrific numbers for someone who's only playing 27 minutes per contest. But as his opportunities increase, so does his production, as in the 22 games that Russ has started this season, he shot a highly efficient 53.8% from the field, while also averaging 7.6 assists, which would be the 8th best mark in the NBA, together with 1.7 steals, which would also have been the 6th best mark in the league this season. And also, with Russ at the starting point guard spot, Denver has had an incredible 17-5 win-loss record. So what's good everyone, it's Real Balls here, and in this video, let's dive into how Russell Westbrook has cracked the code with Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. So let's get to it. Very few people believe that inserting Russell Westbrook into the Nuggets starting lineup to replace the then-injured Aaron Gordon would be a good idea, but replacing Gordon with Russ has actually taken an already good offensive lineup to even greater heights. So far, Denver's starting lineup with Westbrook has outscored opponents by 129.2 points per 100 possessions, which ranks in the 91st percentile of the entire NBA, which is actually a more than 6.5 point increase from what their starting group is producing with Aaron Gordon. Well, the tremendous offensive jump that Denver's starting lineup is experiencing with Westbrook is very understandable. After ranking in the bottom 10 of the NBA in pace per game over the past 3 seasons, this year, the Denver Nuggets are currently playing with the 5th fastest pace in the entire league, and this is despite the fact that Denver is still actually a bottom 5 team in terms of forcing turnovers. But as it turns out, getting out in transition and playing at a faster pace even without getting a ton of steals is actually possible when you have someone like Russell Westbrook, who's a walking burst of speed with the ball in his hands and who can casually accelerate midcourt to turn regular possessions into fast-paced attacks to the basket. Here, as Jokic grabs the defensive rebound, he gives the ball to Russ, who immediately sees the opportunity to attack in semi-transition. Knowing that Utah's rim protector is still trailing, Russ just accelerates, hitting Jordan Clarkson with the Euro step, which allows him to glide to the easy finish at the basket. Then right here, with 2 teammates still in the backcourt, Russ sees the Cavs' unset defense, so he casually turns up the Jets and attacks the defense of Dean Wade. He misses the shot, but Jokic gets the better of Jarrett Allen on the glass as he scores on the putback. As you can see on that play, Russ doesn't always score on those transition attacks. In fact, this season, he only ranks in the 14th percentile of the NBA in terms of transition points per possession. But then, when you have Nikola Jokic, who's currently averaging a career-high 3.4 offensive rebounds per game cleaning up the mess on the boards, those missed shots in transition become easier to bear for Denver. But also, another way Russ picks up the pace for the Nuggets is by using his passing ability to take advantage of unset defenses by making head-to-head passes to teammates on the open floor. I think because people have been so used to Westbrook's heavy assist totals for such a long time, his ability as a pure passing technician has been underrated. But now, his flashy yet precise passing has been very noticeable in the Nuggets' new up-tempo playstyle. Here, as Russ grabs the rebound, watch him accelerate as he throws the left-handed bounce pass from around 40 feet to split two defenders, leading to the easy fast break finish from Julian Strother. Again here in semi-transition, Russ sees Jokic already running ahead of Jarrett Allen. Now with Jokic having an open lane to the paint, watch Russ set him up with that precise laser bounce pass for the easy finish at the rim. As expected, that chemistry that Russ has built with Jokic has developed so quickly not only in transition but also in the half-court. Denver's half-court offense has always been elite and unstoppable with them running unlimited Jokic and Murray pick-and-rolls. But now, the addition of another cerebral and dynamic passer like Russ has allowed Jokic to capitalize on his off-ball tendencies even more, as he's now able to score more easy buckets off Westbrook's assist. In fact, this season, a career-high 68% of Jokic's two-point field goals have been assisted, thanks in large to Westbrook's ability to hit him with some quick and precise entry passes as Jokic lips off defenders in the paint. In this play, Russ surveys the floor, and it only takes a split second for him to sense Jokic getting ready to make the backdoor cut as he dishes out the quick shoulder-level pass to Jokic right on the bucket. Then here, with Westbrook initiating on ball, MPJ sets the pin down on Bam Adebayo, which allows Jokic to slip into the paint. Now with Jokic being slightly switched to the much smaller Duncan Robinson, Westbrook now throws that high entry pass leading to the easy finish by Jokic at the rim. But again, it also works both ways. Westbrook is also an underrated cutter, and so far this season, a career-high 38.6% of his two-point field goals have been assisted. This has been a result of his off-ball movement being fully weaponized in Denver, with Jokic's scoring gravity and genius playmaking, especially from the high post. In this possession, Russ gets the ball to Jokic on the elbows. Right here, Russ could have received the handoff, but watch him accelerate to the baseline, and with him already one step ahead of Dyson Daniels, this is the time Jokic hits him with a precise entry pass. Then this time, Russ finds Jokic off the inbound, and as Jokic tries to jab off his man to initiate a post-up, Westbrook's defender immediately focuses on the help, which now allows Russ to take advantage as Jokic finds him on the sharp cut into the paint. But aside from the strong play with Jokic, over time, Russ has also gradually built solid chemistry with Denver's second option Jamal Murray. Sharing the floor with another point guard in Westbrook has allowed Murray to take a breather with his ball handling responsibilities, which has also allowed him to sharpen his positioning off the ball, all while being secure in the knowledge that there is someone other than Jokic who's capable of finding him on the move. Right here, you can see Russ using the Jokic screen to drive into the paint, and while this is happening, on the weak side, Murray sneakily positions himself into the three-point line. As Russ forces the defense to collapse in the paint and in the corners, he now has a wide-open Jamal Murray who receives the kick-out pass and who hits the three-pointer. And the numbers don't lie. Jamal Murray is shooting 43.4% from deep when he's playing with Westbrook, which is a more than 5 percentage point increase from his overall three-point mark this season. But then, on the other hand, while Westbrook makes Denver's offense thrive even more, the 3 turnovers per game he's committing are still pretty high. But still, I think it's pretty easy to look past those errors of aggression, especially when Russ is also being aggressive in other ways, such as doing the dirty work and hustling for extra possessions on the offensive end. His high-level athleticism and competitiveness is once again on full display in Denver, as this season, Russ has put up the highest offensive rebounding percentage among all point guards. Plus, he also scores 1.2 points per game out of putbacks, which ranks in the 90th percentile of the entire NBA. In addition, Russ's three-point shooting has also been trending upward. This season, he's shooting a decent 34% on three-pointers on almost 4 attempts per game, and has been particularly solid shooting from the corners, where he's converting an excellent 48% of his three-point attempts, although he's still only converting 25% of his above-the-break triples, which is a shot he takes far more often. Because of this, defenses still don't fully respect Westbrook's three-point shot. Well, defenses definitely have to place their big man in Jokic, but teams with multiple big lineups are still comfortable guarding Russ with centers or power forwards. But then so far, Russ has also been making sure that he makes these types of defensive coverages pay. Here, Russ is picked up by the slower Paolo Banchero. Knowing that Orlando's rim protector Wendell Carter Jr. is stationed on Jokic, Russ confidently puts the ball on the floor against Banchero, who holds up pretty well, but Russ still easily manufactures the pull-up fadeaway jumper. Then here, Russ is defended by Jarrett Allen. He sets up Jokic on the high post, and knowing that Evan Mobley is guarding Jokic and knowing that there's no other big man around the rim, Russ immediately goes backdoor. Jokic finds him with a pass and he easily finishes against Donovan Mitchell. Moving on to the defensive side of the floor, the Nuggets version of Russell Westbrook has been an outright positive. Currently, Russ is putting up a 2.7 steal percentage, which is his best mark since the 2016 season. In Denver, Russ has been solid both as an individual and as a team defender, where he's mostly been using his quick and active hands to take advantage of unassuming ball handlers, and the good thing is, this also often results in instant fast break opportunities for Denver. Here, as Jason Tatum tries to create something against Jamal Murray, you can see Russ pouncing on the ball, taking advantage of the pressure as he pokes the ball away. This leads to him running on the open floor where he ends up throwing the lob to Julian Strawther for the easy transition finish. Here, you can see Russ display his balance against Jordan Miller on the drive. Russ stays on him without fouling before eventually poking the ball out of his hands under the basket. This again leads to another easy fast break situation for Denver, ending with the MPJ slam. Also, according to NBA advanced statistics, Russ is allowing opponents to score just 0.58 points per possession in isolation, which actually makes him Denver's best isolation defender. And the crazy thing is, Russ is doing this despite him spending a huge 21% of his time on the floor guarding centers or power forwards, which is something Westbrook actually does pretty well despite his size, thanks to his strength and low center of gravity. Here, you can see how Russ guards the 6'10" Jaren Jackson on the post, absorbing contact to force the offensive foul. Then here, Russ guards Victor Wembanyama on the post, and you can just see how he straight up stonewalls Wemby before he can even swing the ball. The only downside is that, despite him being a solid overall defender, Denver's starting lineup with Westbrook is actually allowing opponents to score almost 5 more points per 100 possessions compared to what they're allowing with Aaron Gordon. But I believe that's not necessarily Westbrook's fault. It's just that Denver's starting lineup is smaller without Aaron Gordon, and they just don't have that extra body in the starting group who can consistently guard bigger wings the way Gordon does. Also, with Jamal Murray's uneven start to the season and his partial redundancy at the point guard spot with Westbrook, I think there's also the question of Murray possibly coming off the bench, although I think that's very unlikely considering just how much financially invested Denver is on him. Although I think it's definitely worth giving Westbrook a longer look as the sole point guard on the floor, as despite the small sample size, the 5-man lineup with Westbrook as the sole point guard, together with Christian Braun, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic, has ranked in the 94th percentile of the entire NBA this season in terms of scoring. But regardless of how Michael Malone utilizes Westbrook towards the end of the season and in the playoffs, what's for sure is that for a guy who was brought in with low expectations and an even lower salary, Westbrook has already been a revelation in Denver, and it's looking like he could be one of the biggest reasons why the Nuggets could win another title in the Nikola Jokic era. So thank you guys if you've actually made it this far into the video, but can Russell Westbrook and Nikola Jokic actually win a championship together in Denver? Feel free to drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and again, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing as well. Again, this has been Real Balls, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.